Hello, everybody. Hello, welcome. Today, let's talk about the podcast. We got a few things we want to talk about, a few things we're definitely going to dive into, a few things we are going to speak on. There's been a lot going on, a lot of stuff that's happening in the sports world and basketball world, but we're going to talk locally. We're going to talk locally about some things that have been happening locally. I know there's been a lot of things going on. I know you got some basketball teams that have some of their school tournaments, state tournaments going on, state championships. Um, Prayers out to the Dobbins Bennett team. Know they're going to be missing one of their players. We definitely want to let you know we're praying for you all on that part. We will have a discussion, a separate podcast on that discussion, on that. But right now, what I want to talk about and what we're going to go into, and if you see me here, I'm with my phone as well, so I'm pulling up my phone to go into the group as well also, so we can have a conversation here. Because I know some people are had some things going on. There was some major issues going on with the tournament in Tri-Cities, Tennessee, and Johnson City. ETSU situation with during the basketball tournament in divisions. And a post was made about it, comments were made about it, a lot of different things have flown around about it. And I have some other people that will be coming on as guests later on throughout there. But what happened was, we'll just go ahead and explain the situation. At the tournament, they have different divisions. Now, everyone please understand, as they had different divisions, the division set for the teams was by grade. Listen to what I'm saying here. The divisions were by grade, not by age. Now, there were certain age ranges that could fall into the grade levels, but the divisions were by grade. Being that they were by grade, teams had to play with their grade level. But there was a certain age range that you could be in order to play within that grade level. Teams were supposed to provide report cards and birth certificates as proof of their grade and proof of their age. In which there was an event that took place, created a lot of issues, a lot of commotion. You had multiple teams set up, in a particular division that some stuff happened, and I heard it happened in a couple of divisions among some other things. Third grade division, a couple of third grade teams from out of the East Tennessee area, and a third grade team from out of the Kentucky area that participated in that one. And what came out was first a rumor, assumption that one of the kids on the team from the Kentucky area was a fifth grader. And it was disputed, debated, not actually during the championship time. It was disputed, actually questioned during the regular games of time and stuff like that. And so it did create some heated issues. And apparently during the championship game, which this team that was suspected to have a fifth grader on their team went all the way to the championship, beat the other teams. Some of them were close, I think by 9 points. Other teams they beat by 25, 30 points, somewhere around there. But they didn't lose any games in the tournament. And it turned into a situation where it was some during the championship game and at the end of the championship game, temperatures. The temperature heated up, tempers flared, parents fussing, cussing in front of the kids, F-bombs being dropped, a lot of things being said, and a lot of stuff, which obviously the tournament director was at that time out of town. So things were not seen there on that part by the director, but information was sent to the director. And you can leave comments, folks. If you want to leave comments, feel free to leave a comment. You can leave a comment in the comment section. Comments will show up on the page, and I will post them as the comments come up on here also, so that we can kind of see how that works. But going back to the situation, a lot of stuff flared up. A lot of stuff happened. Kentucky team said that they were approved to play in the tournament, as they were They said they were proved that they showed proof of the age of the child um, to the tournament director, stuff like that. Some of the coaches, I guess family members and stuff, found information on the child, showing proof that the child was a fifth grader um, on there in the tournament. Other things just kind of lined up, matched up along that line. But long story short, apparently the one of the teams from the Tennessee area uh, had a conversation with the tournament director, and they have overturned the championship and have decided to, from understanding of everything with it, overturned the championship, found that the team provided a report card of another child for the kid who was actually fifth grade. It was some information was uh, blurred or not actually correct, and it was found and confirmed that the child was a fifth grader um, playing in the tournament in the third grade level of the tournament, third grade division of the tournament. And that team was pretty much their scores and points are being erased, um, and that's where things are on that part there. But now here's the thing I want to speak to everybody about. If we can have a conversation here, and I know tempers have flared. People have gone all kinds of ways, and things have happened. I've even reached out to the coach of the team from Kentucky. We did speak via messenger. We didn't want to speak publicly on page or whatever and stuff like that, but we did speak through messenger. Um, which, and I won't tell you all the conversation. Like I told him, I'm not here to argue. I'm just here to have a discussion. If we can talk. He said in the message he did state that his players were 9 and 10 years old. Um, and I did ask him directly and asked him, I showed him, well, hey, it's being said this kid played in the game. This kid looks like this kid in this picture that's on the court of the floor playing against a team. Same kid is showing up on a sports site as a fifth grader, an elite all-star or an all-star fifth grader. Can you explain why this kid is here but playing in the third grade tournament? Because it's the same kid. It looks like the same kid, identical faces, identical everything. Coach chose not to answer that part and just said, he'll never come back this way to play. That it is that everybody's going too far. That it's about just the kids having fun. Um, that to me gave an answer on some things already. But I will say this, yeah, the kids are supposed to have fun, but it's not that the parents who went and found information just happen to see stuff on public sites about the child. They're not the ones who are being, um, they're not harassing. They're not the ones threatening in the situation of it. You've got to look at what created it. I mean, at the end of the day, you got to look at what created it. I mean, if somebody says something wrong, yeah, then that's probably too far to say something wrong and negative, whatever else. But you were asked a direct question, and and you kind of danced around it. You wouldn't exactly say this is, but proof was also shown and confirmed by parents of the child who posted comments on pages and stuff publicly, which is out there, that the child is a fifth grader. Um, and that's the problem with it. It wasn't a age tournament. If we're talking ninth, 10th grade tournament, and depending on where they say the child's birthday falls in, then the child would have been eligible in a ninth, 10th grade tournament because the child was 10. But it was a grade division tournament. So for people who want to fuss and argue about it, it's a grade tournament. If you're looking at the grade level, the kid is in the fifth grade. The kid is not in the third grade. That's what deemed them ineligible, because the kid is in a grade, 2 grades higher. At first, it was stated that the kid was academically, held back. But then, which as you look at information with that, that would mean the kid was held back twice because the kid is a fifth grader and we're talking third grade. But, it's at the end of the day, here's the thing. And I've heard word that the team is going to be banned from any other tournaments and stuff like that. And I know the coach said he doesn't want his team to ever come back and play against teams and stuff like that. But okay, there's a Facebook user who just put a comment in. Let me go in here and put this up on here because that way I'm glad people are coming in and commenting. You must be third and not turn 11 before September 1st, 2023, and in which the child turned 11 in May. So that was another thing on there, that reason why it would be ineligible on that part of it. But here's the other side of this, folks, and I know, like I said, it ended up in parents fussing, arguing, cursing in front of the kids and stuff like that. There's a thing we need to look at now. Where can we move forward from this? Because ultimately, if you ban the coach or you ban the team, it impacts the kids. Not all the kids are at fault. I mean, this is something on an adult's doing. If they sent wrong information, sent information that wasn't clear, or stuff like that, that's on some parents and adults on that part of it. If we're, kids knowing and kids might feel like it's not right, they're probably doing what parents tell them to do: get out there and play. But I think we need to take a moment. And now, wrong is wrong. I'm not sitting here trying to justify anybody's actions and stuff like that. We need to take a moment and pray for people. We need to take a moment and pray, not just for one side. So I'm not saying just pray for, the group in Kentucky, or the coach, because what they did. I'm also saying pray for the parents on the other side, in the Tennessee sides too, because a lot of cussing, a lot of arguing, a lot of fussing in front of kids. At the end of the day, we all of us are teaching our kids and being examples for our kids and being role models for our kids. And this is why it kind of inspired me to do this, because I saw a parent make a comment on a post where they apologized for their actions in the situations. They stated about the part they thought was wrong. And then, after they stated about the part they thought was wrong, they actually, said their piece about their apology and where they were wrong in their actions, which is what many parents need to look at and realize and think about. Your wrongs and your actions too after the fact. That's something that we all need to look at and think about. So let me go here because somebody else is talking as well. So I'm going to put in information. Tournament director has allowed fifth graders to play within third grade divisions before. Same thing happened with us last year when our girls was in the third grade. Well, and see, so that's something that needs to be addressed with the tournament director as well. If fifth graders are being allowed to play, obviously other teams need to know about that. Other teams need to be made aware of that, so that way it can be a level playing field. That's all teams are asking for, is just having a level playing field. If it's going to be a third grade division, then everybody needs to be third grade. If there is a fifth grade division, if you got a fifth grader on the team and so you got a bunch of third graders, then the third graders need to play up with that fifth grader playing a fifth grade division. That's my logic. That's my opinion on it. That's how most tournaments will operate. I don't know the situation on how, that one is chosen to operate, but that's what it should be in that situation, so this issue never comes up. That's just my opinion. People can share their thoughts on it. And this is why I say we need to have prayer for everybody. Not just praying for one side or the other side. Prayers for the tournament director. Prayers for all the teams. Prayers for the kids. Prayers for the families. And let's have conversations where it's not an argument. Can we all, as adults, because keep in mind, everybody on both sides, on all sides, and I say both, but there's like 4 or 5 different sides of it, because you got 3, 4, or 5 teams involved. tournament director, coaches, all this stuff is involved in this stuff. So everybody on all sides, can we all come together and have a civil conversation? If it's truly about the kids, and we're talking about the kids just want to play. The kids want to play and put forth effort and have a good time, but there's a thing of the rules and eligibility where the kids got to play in certain areas. You can explain that to the kids. Hey, you got to play at this grade because you got to play at this age. This is what you need to play in. We might not win, but we're going to play and have fun. We're going to learn. Can we all as adults have a conversation? And I'm going to say this. Because like I said, I had a conversation with the actual coach of the other team. I've talked with coaches for the other teams. Then I'm going to go to another comment before I say my piece on here on that part. So here's somebody else commenting in. Then that's why I'm showing it so you all can see what I'm seeing with the comments. But what I don't get is when asked, we sent in his medical card with his date of birth. You can't make that up. I don't care where the claim they sent in a fake report card came from. You can't fake a report card, but they asked us for proof. We sent it in and got confirmation back from the record that he was able to play. He knew his date of birth, so why didn't he stop right then? But our kids went and played and got yelled at by adults. The parents got the blame. The coach got the blame. But was there more on that? Okay, it stopped at but on that part, so I didn't see all of it. So it kind of stopped the message out on that part there. Well, here's the thing, I'm glad that that person made that statement there. Um, okay, but here's the thing about it, and I know you're saying medical card with this date of birth. If you go to that league's website, their website says and I'm gonna move this out so you can see what I'm saying here. But I'm leaving this up for a second so you all can read it again. Just make sure everybody can read it and go through it on there, and then I'll comment on that. So thank you all who are commenting in and chiming in, because that's what I want us to have is a conversation and have a civil conversation with each other where we all know no arguing, no cussing, no fussing. So this way we can have some understandings in here. So a medical card was sent in. That's what they said. A medical card was sent in. And I'm looking at where the website is. If you go to that tournament's website, their website states verification must be a birth certificate and a report card. The report card, the child must be in that grade as of October 1st, 2022, and may not turn. The other part was the may not turn. Let me go up to that section. 11 before September 1st, 2023. And that's what that is there. Now, and here's where a lot of things, and this is where a lot of stuff gets blurry and clear yet on here, because it gets blurry. I'm not clear. It gets blurry and needs some clarity on here. If a medical card was sent in with the date of birth, then obviously that's where maybe the tournament director should have stated to those teams that, hey, here's what the medical card says, here's this, this, and this. But now if it's different from what they state on the website, then that's where the tournament director has to conversate and have a conversation with all teams involved and let them know, hey, I'm approving this player because of this. Because everybody else is going by the rules stated on the website. So this is where there's a confusion at. And problem was, tournament director wasn't there at the time. So some things were asked in that part. Like I said, what I'm being told was a report card was sent that was blurry. I didn't say fake report card. I'm saying a report card sent that some details couldn't be read. But here's the question. the child that is showing up in the pics on the court, is that child a fifth grader or is that child a third grader? Because the same child that shows up in that third grade tournament on the court is listed on another website, another social media site, as an all-star fifth grader from out of that same area, same look, same build, same shape, same face. So is the child a fifth grader or is the child a third grader? I don't see the Facebook users' names because it just comes up and just says Facebook user. But this is where, like I said, it's good to have these conversations. Um, and here's the other response here. Per director, have to be third and not turn 11 before September 1st, 2023. Per director, a third grade report card was received, but turned out it was the fifth grader's younger brother. Now, not sure if the director is full truth on that or what. There's the other response here on that part. So as you see, comments are coming in. And these are some of the discussions going on that part. It's bad that people are getting yelled at. I mean, but intensive games, people are going to yell in games. Regardless of what age, if they're older, whatever it is, even at same grade levels, same age levels, people are going to yell stuff and all that. It's just bad how bad that situation turned out because it turned into cussing argument. And from my understanding, sheriffs, police, or somebody was called out just to kind of, make sure everything was going to be calmed down a little bit and all that part there. I'm going to other comments as we are going through here. Grace aside, though directly still responsible for following the age rules and didn't. So yes, that's on them for sure. Oh, grade aside, my fault. Grade aside, grade aside, though directly still responsible for following the age rules and didn't. So yes, that's on them for sure. Okay. When they say that's on him for sure, I don't know which person they're talking about. So if you would clarify that part, when you say that's on him for sure. But that's part of the thing, and it's this is the thing where it's, and I'm asking this because at the end of the day, I love all kids. Now let's just be real. The kid was talented. He's a skill set, obviously, and the kid's recognized out in his own area as an all-star. The kid is talented, skill set. I would love to see the kid play against some kids his own age in fifth grade and let them go to work. Let them go at it. Let them have a good time. And I would even go in and say this, and this goes out to the teams out in Kentucky, teams in Tennessee, to all of y'all. Why don't we make this something different here? Everybody be legit. Everybody be honest. Everybody be fair, and we can have members from each group meet up to do this. As far as on this part, let's put together a tournament. Kentucky, y'all bring your third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth graders, each division based on grade. Set the stipulations of the age levels, but based it on grade levels. Tennessee, all the Tennessee teams, you bring the same. Let's do a tournament. Same setup. Even if you go through the same league, whichever one. This could make a great rivalry in positivity, and let's let the kids play. But everybody be legit on their grade levels, on the age levels, and let's do a tournament now. It makes for great basketball because all of y'all keep saying it's about the kids. The kids want to play and have fun. Well, we're also teaching the kids respect, honesty, and at this point, we're teaching the kids about forgiveness. Yeah, we were mad for a moment. Or yeah, this was wrong in the way it was done for a moment. But now, let's forgive and move forward with positivity. I'm just asking, can that be possible? We all are adults. We all want to teach our kids about treat people right, respect people right. People can do some wrong things. People can do some bad things. People could get mad at times over situations. But now let's move forward and be positive about it, and let's all try to make some things work in a better way, in a positive way. Is it possible? Can that be done? And that's why I'm saying let's pray for each other, because it's going to take a little bit of prayer there, because people are hot, people are upset, people are mad about things, but there's a lot of stuff that's going on and being said about it. But it's the thing is the thing of the part here. This is where some things need to be clarified in rules, stipulations. And because there are differences, and this is what it shows me. What I see here is, it looks like some parents were thinking, well, it's an age tournament, an age level tournament, where other parents were on the understanding by what's on the site, it's a grade level tournament. So that's the thing there on that part. Okay, so here's another message here. So I'm going to the message so you all can see this. Never heard of a report card being turned in before. The post was made on Facebook claiming. So I don't know how true that is. I won't speak on that. But I do know a medical card was sent in with his birthday on it. Director said he could play. Okay, there's one there. So there it is there on the medical card turned in. So, and this is what I'm glad it's conversation going on right now with people, and it's from different sides, and it's where people can see the details of stuff and all that. Because I will tell you, my talk with the coach, there was no arguing, there was no fussing between me and the coach. I've talked to the coaches on the other team. There was no arguing, there was no fussing. Yeah, there were things where questions were asked, and people where you could tell people were bothered, heated. Some felt hurt, some felt harassed, some felt other ways. But there was no harassing towards anybody, no arguing towards anybody. There was just things of, can we all talk and have clarity on the situation? And and that's the thing on that part there, and that's the thing of, if and I understand what people are saying on that part. So there's questions that are being asked on both sides of things, and I'm gonna go here to the next part too. Um, and we will reach out here on that part, because the director should speak out, make a statement. Yes, there was where the director should speak out, make a statement. That even goes more on that part too, as well. So that should happen on there as well also. So there's a lot of things that will go there with this, and it would help tremendously if the director made a public post. So we all know if it was a third grade report card or medical cards, etc. That would help out as well. Yes, that would help out as well. But then too, on the part of clarity is, I mean, if I know people are saying medical report, people are saying third grade report. Also, here's the thing too. The part of the clarity too is the kid that's in the pictures that's listed playing on the court a fifth grader, and is the kid the same kid that's listed on social media sites the same child? There's another question there as well. I mean, is that the kid? Because now medical card shows the grade and everything that obviously the director is his tournament, so he could bypass rules, and stuff like that. But that's the director's tournament. I mean, that's the thing where the director will have to come out on that part and make a statement. But but then too, when asked the question, is this the same kid? Why is there not clarity on just saying it is or it isn't? Whenever posts have been made, and even some family members and people of the child have stated the child is fifth grade, but it just some other people won't answer it directly or not. And that's the thing about it. There's a lot of levels here that will bring that about to be talked about. But per conversations through other areas on that part, because some have had conversations with the director. I guess he's talking to both sides a little bit, because obviously the medical card was being told to be sent in. that they said director approved. Other organizations talked with the director. Stuff is being overturned and saying some stuff was blurry. That was another child. So it will help for that to come out in that way as well. Um, Plain and simple, skirting the rules to your benefit is called what? Cheating. And whether parents knew the rules or not, the coaches definitely do, directors as well. Not defending oversight, but I will say for anyone that has ever been part of planning or running a tournament, the phone and people are constantly going with questions, problems, etc. It will be very easy to glance over and say, okay. Bottom line is people know the rules and try to skirt them and justify doing so. All right, we heard that part there. And I mean, I'm going to see and tell you, I have seen that happen. And I'm not just speaking on this tournament. I've seen it happen in other tournaments. I've seen it happen many times. I've been at tournaments where people will pull players from out of the stands and put them in a uniform and have them play just to get the edge on other teams. That they didn't even have the kid registered in the tournament. They just went and said, hey, go put on a uniform, come play for us. To help their team win. Um, it's I've seen kids go get older kids to come in and do that. I've seen it happen. I've seen things where when people say, I'm just going to tell you, I know some people will say that report cards can't be, it's hard to change those things and change birth certificates. Look, I've seen it happen. I have seen it happen. I've never done it. Now let's clarify that. I've never done it, but I have seen it happen. Um, People are out there that can do many things. Let's just be real on that part, folks. I mean, we can sit here and try to play that it don't happen. And I'm not saying that this team did that. I'm just saying it can happen. And here's the reason why I'm saying it can happen. Somebody could actually create a driver's license under you, right? They can create a fake driver's license. They can create a fake birth certificate. They can create a fake report card. If they have the right people who can do stuff digitally and creating stuff, it can happen. I mean, we're in a world now. I mean, let's be real. Even though they got your ID and they got, your picture or sales, stuff like that, there's somebody out there who already created something to create a fake ID. There's college kids out there running around right now with fake IDs. There's other kids out there running with fake IDs. There's people out there running around with fake social security numbers, fake anything on that part. So it can happen, folks. It may not happen in your area, but it happens somewhere out here in this world and it's been done. That's the reason why there are things in place to try to fight it and defend against it, but it happens. If it didn't happen, there would not be rules set in place to stop it. And I'm not trying to argue. I'm just being real and honest and true about that stuff can happen. And that's just the situation of it. So like I said, it's not to argue, it's not to fuss. I'm listening to both sides. I've talked with some of both sides on it. And like I said, there's a thing also where we all need to pray for one another. We all need to pray for certain things and just pray for each other on that part. And just for healing of people's mindsets, people's actions, people's ways, people, the temperament. Because I'm just gonna tell y'all, and see, this gonna go into this, where some of the stuff that happened, I've seen some of these same things happen in other places, and I've heard of some of these same things happen in other places, and guns were drawn. People got shot. People got beat up. Some people lost their lives over some stuff like this. I mean, there was a football coach I think it was down in Georgia somewhere. Parents got heated. The teams got heated. Parents got heated. People were arguing and fussing. A coach got shot and killed. A fight broke out. The coach got shot and killed. There was a basketball game down somewhere where arguments started happening. A referee got into it and whatever. Players beat up a referee. Fans fighting. I mean, even in some of these school ball games right around here in East Tennessee, parents and kids got into brawls against each other. So, it was good that it didn't go to those extents, but it did get heated up where words were exchanged. Some physical might have started, but words were exchanged and heated that it could have turned into other things and even more. So this is why I'm saying we need to pray for each other and pray for one another. It's not about bad mouth and saying this person is, this person that. You're from this way. You're a hillbilly, a hick. You're this, you're that. Nah, it ain't about that, y'all. I mean, it's somebody may have done wrong, but let's pray for them and help them to get better, and work on some things on there as well. So that's some of what I see on that part of it. I'm going to talk here a little bit more and discuss on it. And we got another comment here. Anyone who registered didn't know it was a grade division tournament. Third, fourth, fifth, all had divisions as well. I will say, yeah, people knew it was a grade division tournament. And there's a thing too where there needs to be clarity about with age ranges, because and it was a third grade tournament, and in any tournament you'll see it has age ranges where to say if you're in this grade, your age can be this age, but you can't turn another age before this time of year, before this date during this year. So, in that case, third grade was you can't turn 11 before September 1st, 2023, before on September 1st, 2023. But your report card has to be third grade as of October 1st, 2022. So the thing was, and I keep hearing medical card was presented, but was a report card and birth certificate presented? And did all teams present birth certificates and report cards? So see, there's a lot of questions that lay in there on that part, on that section of there. I mean, that's something that a lot of tournaments really go for on that part, that it can happen because it's a thing of report cards. If you're saying verify report cards, verify age, birth certificate, then were both of those things sent in? We're saying a medical card, but where was the report card and where was the report card? So that leads to that question. But it was said that the director accepted a medical card, and they said they know that he accepted a medical card. And then too, there's a thing for it on that part. So it will come good to hear from the director on there. I mean, that's somewhere reach out and see what's said on that part. I mean, obviously it's been conversation going on between coaches, director on both sides, and director and all of that. I would love for all the kids to come through and play in a tournament, and let's make it a nice rivalry, with the understanding of you can cheer, you can battle, let the kids battle on the floor, but then have respect for each other at the end of the day. But everybody be honest, truthful, bring in the stuff that needs to be brought. If we gonna say report cards and birth certificates, bring in the items that are required, and let's go back through that part there. And I'm going through the next section here. It's sad for the kids. Yeah, it is. It's sad because, some people are saying, oh, well, this child was hurt on this side because, people were arguing and fussing, that hurts the kid. And, other people saying, well, this child's hurt on this side because these children were playing this age level, this grade level, and they're hurt too because they were cheated out of an opportunity. Well, let's just be real. There's hurt on both sides that happens. When things like this happen, it hurts both sides because there's a lot of hurt on all sides of it, from all sides. Because, I mean, there are kids on both sides who were in the age range. There are kids on both sides in the grade range If there was one that was off and wrong, that messed it up for all the kids. That messed up for all sides on the situation of it. Now, it's wrong whichever way it is on that part, but that hurt messes up for all sides. So kids were hurt on all sides, and now it's kids saying, I don't ever want to play this, parents saying, I don't ever want to play this team again. Parents saying, I don't want to come back and play this team again. But at the end of the day, if we're all about the kids, let the kids come back and play and let the kids have fun, but let's play and set the guidelines and let everybody go through their checks and balances per se of the situation, and let's play games. Let's do the games. Let's do it. Let's have it. Let them play and have fun. Heck, everybody can come together and chip in, rent the gyms, and do it. Or, put in a tournament, get with the tournament director, or get with it and put together a tournament and do it. And you got each division, as far as grade range, stuff like that. Everybody from each team have a representative that comes in and checks each team's situation out so they can see everybody's side of it, so they know that everything is clear and precise on that. And then you can have the tournament, and everybody's good, and we have a good time. And the best team that day, the best team for that weekend, hey, best team wins. Team is ready to play and do it. That's the team that wins. So, I think that's where it is. Yeah, age ranges are set to where you can only be held back 1 year or be started in school late. It keeps players from basically playing 2 grades down. I understand, and I'm glad you said that. This way it helps others reading to understand that. So that's there you go. That's that part of it. Um, and that's a good message there. That's really good on that part. I know some of the other tournaments, their age ranges are a little bit differently in that part there. In that section of it. I mean, I think the tournament and tournament director, they put on some great tournaments. They do. They've had some great tournaments over the years, and I'm sure they'll have more to come. And hopefully, this will be something that will be looked at and it will be updated, corrected, addressed, and handled. Because the director does put on some great tournaments, great events. They have been for years, and hopefully this will be something that they can work it out, get it situated, and then we all move forward. I mean, if it is something where they do come on and they talk about it, we'll discuss it, and then we're going to move forward from this part. But it's me. I'm going to pray for every team, every parent, every coach. Wish every team, every parent, every coach well, and wish every child, every parent, and every coach well. Um, and if somebody don't like me, that's on you. But I love you all anyways. That's my thought on it. I mean, I don't have an ill will towards anybody. Um, I believe, let's all talk about it and have a discussion, and we all can come together and try to make it work if we really are about the kids. Um, and that's my thing, I mean, so I'm not trying to bash anybody, not trying to harass anybody, and not, it's definitely not here trying to threaten nobody. Um, I mean, that's crazy to do. I'm out here to try to help the community, help people, heal people, and make a better world in this life. Because I know, where I grew up in, we fought. And I'm too old for fighting and all that mess now. I'd rather try to, make things, do things the right way and do things about, being the right way with people and everything on that part. So that's my thought on that portion there. Um, we talk about the age ranges and stuff. I'm going to go to another message here. Everyone agrees ultimately that the director is ultimately responsible. He was contacted, from my understanding, by many before any games ever happened Sunday. He was told by a few they were afraid it could cause chaotic environment if he didn't clarify the tournament rules with all the teams, etc. I do know that tournament director was reached. I do know there was some things that were reached out on Saturday. I know that part. As far as how many and who all, I do know there was some different conversations going on from multiple sides, multiple teams, multiple angles, multiple situations. And trust me, folks, it's hard running tournaments. For those of y'all who don't know, it's hard running tournaments. It's hard running events, concerts, tournaments, anything like that. And when you got teams, schedules, looking at records and history and stuff like that. And it's hard. It is hard on anybody, and that's one reason why I say pray for everybody. because I know it's hard on everybody, and I don't know how much staff, they had on hand that was checking stuff and all that stuff. And the other hard part about it is, and I'm going to say this, and some of y'all going to get mad at me, the other hard part on the directors and on the staff, when teams don't bring the items that they're supposed to bring, but they don't send the items they're supposed to send. If the rules and regulations state send in birth certificate or send picture of original birth certificate and report card, send in those items. You know the event is coming up. Send in the items that are recommended so that way everything can be right on point. And I'm not just saying that for this tournament. I'm saying this for any tournament because here's the thing. Most of y'all know weeks in advance or months in advance of what tournaments you're going to do. You got time to get your stuff in order and get it right. You saying we teaching our kids. So this is a life lesson also by teaching your kids, having your stuff ready in preparation. You teach your kids about school and homework and their schoolwork, do it in advance so you have it ready. Do your homework when you get home from school or the night before so you have it ready whenever you get to school for the next day. Get your clothes ready the night before so when you get up in the morning, you're already ready to get in your outfit and do what you need to do. So the same thing goes for the parents and the coaches and the organizations. Have your stuff ready to send in so that you have your stuff to the teams, to the organizations for the events. So that way they have that stuff ready. They're not trying to put together at last minute. Because there's a lot of things, anything could happen at the last minute. Stuff could happen, something could go wrong. Accidents happen, and they're trying to run to get other stuff situated in the event something happens, an emergency happens, and now they got to run waiting on this team to send this part of their roster in, this team to wait to send this part of grades or birth certificate in, stuff like that. So those are things that also need to happen as well. Also on that part. I'm going through here on other stuff. Do the right thing. Yeah, do the right thing on there as well. So that's true. On here, not a bad idea for the parents to know the rules before criticizing the referee. Oh man, see, that's another conversation there. You're right. Know the rules, get to know the sport, know the rules. If you don't understand the rules, the regulations, and the eligibility, and that stuff, get to know this information. Look at the websites, or if you're talking to tournament directors or something like that, ask them what are the rules, what are the criteria, what's the age ranges, age limits to what levels and stuff like that. What's the grade levels and what's that status on that stuff there? Get to know that stuff on there as well because that really helps. And parents and stuff like that. A lot of y'all yell from the bleachers on stuff, but there's sometimes y'all be yelling some stuff and you ain't even yelling the right call. And so get to know the rules before criticizing those guys. The referees work hard. They're not always gonna make the right call, but they try their best. And sometimes it's tough. When you got referees refereeing one game, one referee in a game or two, because normally, a lot of games need three referees. Some games need two referees, and it's hard if you just got one referee. So y'all got to understand that these refs are trying their best too, and trying to work hard out there as well. So y'all have to learn to understand some of the rules and be careful how you criticize the referees. They're human beings as well. They are human beings as well. Heck, a lot of y'all parents make mistakes. And coaches too. We all make some mistakes. We just have to work on trying to be better and try to do better on that stuff there. In games, referees may not always make the right call, and they may not make something you ultimately will agree with. But understand they make mistakes, and sometimes the call is not going to go your way every time either. That's part of the game. That's part of life. Everything's not going to go your way. And that's how it happens on that part. But try to do the right thing and try to do the best things on that part of it. And I appreciate you all joining in on here and talking and communicating because, we're definitely trying to make this happen here. Most directors do everything they can to make sure they follow the rules. We had a recent tournament where it was discovered there was older players on the team. All coaches were contacted and asked if they were okay to play them. One said, yeah, just play out the bracket as loss or no bracket play, and other two requested them not to be allowed to play at all. They were ultimately removed from the schedule. I've not met personally any directors that would allow any teams to break the rules without risk of disqualification. That right there, I love that. I do love that message, and I'll tell you why. Because I actually made a comment very similar to what you're saying right there. And that's something where I feel like that if a team is bringing an older child or a child that might be deemed ineligible, why not present it to all the other teams in that division and just state it out to the teams? Look, here's a situation. This team is shorthanded. They got this player. If you need this team to fill that division as far as those brackets, hey, here's the situation. This team has this player. Da 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 da. Players ineligible actually, but they're shorthanded and they need a player to fill. We don't have enough teams to fill this deal here. Would you be open to playing against this team? You all let me know, and that way all the teams are aware, so all the teams can make a decision. If some teams say no, then there you go. If some teams say, well, hey, how about we let the team play their minimum number of games, but the other teams who are eligible move forward in the tournament on that part there. That way this team still gets to play. They just don't get to make it into the championship but they got to play their minimum games of what was allowed in the tournament. Or, you say, hey, move that team up into the next level. They got to play up against these other teams in this group, which ultimately may change the bracket up a little bit. But there's the other level there on that part. Kids play up. I have known teams that have, say, a seventh grader on a sixth grade team. The sixth grade team will ultimately play in the seventh grade division bracket. They wouldn't play the seventh grader down. They would play the seventh grader, in the seventh grade division. So that sixth grade players with that seventh grade will play in the seventh grade division. So the sixth graders will play up with that seventh grader. I've even seen some sixth grade teams with a seventh grader go and play up in eighth grade. I've seen it happen. It varies on the talent level and skill set. There's a big difference at times, but I have seen it happen at times, and that has happened in work in some situations. Some teams come out with learned experience in the situation of the matter um, on there too. So that would is another answer to it on that part. So I'm going here next part. Um, Another person said, they would have happily pulled down a fifth grade stud, being it wasn't being addressed, but ultimately our coach didn't feel right about doing that. Considered pulling out, but ultimately our boys said, let's play anyway, so we did. Didn't want to get shorted a game we paid to play, etc. Okay, well we see that part there. They would have happily pulled a kid down, but they didn't. So they wanted to just play within the reins of what was going on there on that part. Um, so there's another part there. There's the other part here. Um, there's been different sayings coming from people who have talked with the director. Um, so there's been different sayings coming from what has been said by the director. Has the director gone public yet and said anything? No, the director has not gone public yet and said anything. There has been conversation with coaches from the different teams to the director that have discussed stuff. So that's that part there. That's the part that has come up on that part. Um, and coaches have made an announcement from what they have said to the director. One side says director approved the medical card that was shown. Other group has said that the director has informed them that some information that was given to him was not clear. That the other team's points are being removed. Um, that's what's been said on that part, and that's where that goes on that part. But there are some things where it will come out more as details go on that part there. Um, so that's how that will go there on that part. But there are some things that have been confirmed that that's just stated out there that have been confirmed, regardless. What's been stated by the director of the current thing that has been confirmed is one of the kids on the court is a fifth grader. And that was confirmed. I mean, you can see it, you can look at it, that part there, and that's not trying to argue with anybody. That's just stating the facts of what is seen and what you see on that part. The child is recognized on in sites and recognized on in the page. He was on the court in the game and stuff like that. So regardless of his age, the grade level of the child is fifth grade. Um, on that part there. But now, the director clears some stuff that goes to another part of the conversation. But it was confirmed that the child is a fifth grade. That's something that can't be denied. The child is a fifth grade on that part. And not trying to argue with anybody. I mean, it has been confirmed by various people on both sides um, on that part. So that's something that can't be denied. I mean, even parents have made the kid's a fifth grade. He's a fifth grader. So that part is known. But if he was allowed to play because of age, then that's something that's a conversation with the director and stuff like that. Um, but like I said, at the end of the day, how about do a tournament now with everybody doing exact grades, exact grade level, and go on that part and have fun and do a tournament and go at it with each grade level doing that. So yes, definitely know the rules before fussing at refs. LOL, yeah, that's true on that part there. Let's go here. Side tip: there are plenty of basketball official Facebook pages you can follow and learn more about the rules than you ever thought. Even playing the game your entire life, you'd be surprised, especially with changes. And there are great discussions and interpretations of small details that make big differences. You're right. There are. Not only on basketball Facebook pages. Let's just go ahead and be clear on that. You can go to YouTube. You can Google. There's a lot of things in rules, um, regulations, standards, stuff like that. Now, I also say this, and thank you for that message, because here's the thing too. You, when you're entering in sites and tournaments, every tournament has different eligibility clauses. There are different, rules, regulations on their eligibility. Now, the game of basketball is played still the same, but some of them have different setups on, if you're playing periods or if you're playing halves. Um, they have different setups on, like I said, the eligibility is different. The age level breakdown is different. So make sure you look those organizations up and look at their details before you jump into signing up and signing your team or your child into play. Look at the details so that you see the details of stuff and you know what you're getting into before you sign up. So that's something that can help there as well. Um, so thank you for that comment there. Thank you so much on that part. I am the head coach of the Tri-Cities team, and I talked to the director yesterday with the director, and he informed me the player in question was a legal player, too old, and also ineligible by grade. He also said if he had been here and not been out of town on business, he would have been able to make sure the situation was handled and the player in question would have been removed from the tournament roster. Well, there's that part of the answer for people who are asking and stating. So there's it is right there. So I'll leave this sitting up so you all can see it. You all can read it. There's the information. I mean, it's at the end of the day. I mean, and it's not to create uproar. It's not to create argument. It's not to create fuss. Um, if you know the kid's a certain grade, just say, yeah, the kid's a certain grade. If you feel like you're saying, well, the director approved it, okay, the director approved it, but he knew the kids' ages, but he didn't know the kid's grade or something. I mean, I'm not sitting here trying to argue with nobody. I'm just, like I said, I've been trying to make this civil conversation amongst everybody, and everybody's been civil. And here's an answer to somebody had the question earlier. What did the director say? Well, there's the information right there on that part. What the director said to this coach. And there was a couple of Tri-Cities teams in it, just so you all know. There's a couple. So that's one of the coaches of one of the Tri-Cities teams. But there's an answer right there. And that is how it goes. There's an update right there. So, and like I say once again, let's pray for everybody. Let's pray for all teams, all coaches, all families. Because one thing I don't like seeing is people getting into heated arguing situations, and cussing, dropping multiple bombs uh, in front of the kids, and just getting the kids upset and getting other stuff going. I mean, we all want to see great basketball played. Kids hustle, give effort, go hard, play hard, tough competition, and be able to go home at the end of the day with joy, happiness, laughter, love in our hearts, and saying, "Hey, kids, you put on a great game. Win or lose, you put on a great game. You create a great effort." And we want honesty and truth, because I mean, obviously these things we're teaching kids in life as well. So that's one thing about it. We also got to realize we're teaching kids in life as well. So I've got this sitting here up for a little bit so people can read it, people can see it. I know this is being shared by people, so feel free to share it. I don't mind y'all sharing it. Like I said, regardless if you love me or hate me, I'm going to love you anyways. I'm going to speak love, I'm going to share love, and I mean, and I'm going to just try to be honest with everybody, be open with everybody, and try to communicate, and sometimes I know there's sometimes at some points, some people you just can't communicate with. You have to just say, let's just go separate ways and go separate ways. That happens at times. That's part of life too. But there are times if we can have a discussion, people can talk and understand on that part there. So there's an answer there on that part. I will put this back up if anybody needs to see it. So if anybody asks a question, but there it is right there. So if any of y'all see it, it's there. We're at, so if anybody's asking and saying, well, where is it at on the video if it comes up again? We're at 1 hour and 2 minutes into the video right now. So if you tell them to look up whether 1 hour and 2 minutes on the video, they'll see this message where it pops up there on that part. This is also available on YouTube. It's on, it'll show up on my TV network, King Network TV, on my Twitter page, on my LinkedIn. It'll also show up on the Facebook pages, Tri-Cities Basketball, and some other pages as well. So you will see this show up on here. If you need to go back and find it and view it, there it is on that part there. So it is here, and there it is up on that part there. And actually, I'm leaving that piece up for about, I'll leave it up for another 20 seconds. That way we'll be almost about over. I say when I said 2 minute mark, now it's going into 3 minutes, so I know it's been up for longer than that. So that way people can see it. There's the information there on that part, and that's what the information says there. So anybody asking questions, there's that there. But then too, I know what's probably gonna come with this. Somebody's still gonna say, well, we need to hear from the director directly, and will the director make a post or a statement? That part I don't know. We'll reach out to the director and see, or we'll, I know other people talk to the director. Maybe they can ask the director to put up a statement, a post, just saying something about it, and then that way everybody has their answer on that part. Because that way everybody's gonna say something about something in that part there. But that's what this coach was informed of and talked to on his information along that line there. So you see it right here on that part, folks. So that right there gives you that detail. So he talked to the director yesterday, and the player in question was an illegal player, too old, and ineligible by grade. So that's what it was. Player was too old and ineligible by grade. So that's that answer there on that part for people who were asking. So that's that section there. I'm going to scroll down to the next part of comments because obviously I got people scrolling in asking questions. And here is another one here. Somebody gave some people say that's the praying hand. Some people say that's the hand giving the high five bill. There's that there. Both ways, prayers for people and high five as well. And that way, people can do that part there. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm trying to make something work here in hope that we can all have some clarity here and continue to work together and build. Because ultimately, and I'll say this because I know there's some teams around the area that travel to Virginia, Kentucky, and South Carolina, North Carolina, and around Tennessee and play. And I'm hoping that the Kentucky teams will continue to travel into the Tri-Cities, into Virginia, and North Carolina, South Carolina, and other players and play as well. We don't. We want to keep basketball growing, and like we said, if it's really about the kids, then let's try to say, hey, let's move beyond this now. After we everything's got the answers are done, or whatever it is, and now let's move forward. And I'm gonna say this. And everybody's gonna be different. Some people might be looking for an apology from those teams or from the coaches or whatever else. Some may not, and but let's just figure out a way that we can try to move forward and maybe get all the teams together to play a tournament, but put divisions by grade, make sure everything is right, and have members from each team, each organization come in to verify each team's setup on there, so they see everything and say each team is verified in here, and now let's play some ball and let's make it happen. And that can be a great thing. I mean, I grew up in a time where it used to be coaches' meetings before tournaments. I mean, stuff like that. I mean, I know that may not happen no more because, everybody's trying to roll so quick. It used to be that type of stuff that used to happen. Maybe we need to get back to that. And I know some tournaments do things where they have prayer before tournaments. I know that happens, and that helps too. It may not help with everybody, but it helps with some people. Sometimes, a little prayer can go a long way. Um, and I'm just a believer in that, and it helps sometimes keep people calm and work stuff out and being able to talk. And so everybody's clear on what the rules, what the eligibility is, and all that stuff. That helps as well because it brings about clarity in so many ways, so many things. Um, so, with that being said, I really thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for joining in, and I was going to have some of my friends and pastor friends come up um, and come together on here, but I'm going to end this in this way with the message, and if you're watching here, I've been saying this to pray for each one of the teams. Not only am I mentioning it, I'm going to take a moment and let's do it. So, I'm not asking you to close your eyes, whatever you're doing, whatever kind of work you're doing, do your work. Show respect, take my hat off. Here's a little bit right now, but that's okay. Um, Dear Lord, we thank you for this day, and we thank you for all of our lives and all of our efforts. Thank you for all the parents, the coaches, the organizations. Thank you for all of the tournaments directors, teams, and everything, Lord. We ask, and thank you for the parents, the fans, the family, friends that support all of the tournaments and all the games and all of the travel sports, youth sports, everything that goes on. Lord, we just ask you to continue to guide each one of the teams and watch over and look over all the kids, look over all the parents, all the organizations and everything. Lord, we ask that you just, keep your arms wrapped around each and every member in every part of life. Lord, we ask you to keep us all humble, and we ask you just keep us in understanding, in forgiveness and understanding, and being able to move forward with positivity and not bashing one another and not, threatening each other, not harassing, but to love one another, to speak positivity and move forward. Because, Lord, we ask you to continue to remind us all and keep us in understanding that kids are watching us, and kids are watching our kids. The little kids are watching the older kids, and they're watching us all. And we ask you to continue to just, bless them. Remember the understanding to understand patience and knowledge and wisdom and honesty and faithfulness and teamwork and sportsmanship and understanding and learning and developing and leading by those things. Lord, we ask you to just guide each and every one and touch all of our hearts and just continue to be a leader in our lives and just keeping us all and moving forward and touching all the parents, protecting us all. So even though tempers may flare, knowing and understanding that times when we need to step away to cool down and be able to have times we can talk and speak and communicate because the kids are watching us and they are learning from all of us. Lord, we ask you to just continue to guide us in each and everything. These are the things we ask and pray in your name. Thank you, God. Amen. Thank you all for joining in. Thank you all for tuning in. I wish you all a great day. Love you all. Thank you all for supporting all the pages, the growth, and what we do. Um, and once again, like I said, love you all. Y'all have a great day. Today. Make it a great one. Thank you for tuning in, chiming in. Y'all take care. And I hope some things got answered. Hope some things have been worked out for people. And let's move forward and have some great tournaments. some great events, great showcases, and I wish everybody's team well and success. I wish everybody's team and all the players much success to keep doing great things and keep building. Thank you all so much. And, we'll keep posting out events, pages, workshops, trainings, tournaments, and all that. We'll keep sharing that stuff over. So we love you all. Y'all take care. Thank you for your support. Have a good one. I'm going to, we're going to leave this out with a video.
There's a lot of time that people talk about mountains, and a lot of people say, oh, when I can get this mountain moved, oh God, will you move this mountain? A lot of times God has placed that mountain there for you not to move it. It's almost like when you're kids, people who have children, the kid come up and says, can I have $20 or can I have $50? You just normally don't give that kid $20 or $50. You ask the kid to work for it, right or wrong. So a lot of times that's what God is doing in our lives, where he wants you to put forth some effort and work. He's not wanting to move that mountain for you. He didn't place that mountain there for it to just move out of your way. He placed it there so that you would climb it. Because whenever you climb it, you'll actually see a difference. You're making an effort. Because when you get to the top of that mountain, what you see at the top of that mountain is you get to look at the situation below from a different view. You can see it from 10,000 feet, from 20,000 feet. You get to assess the situation, because then you're not in the midst of the storm that's down at the bottom of that mountain that you were trying to get moved out of your life. Whenever you got it, when you're able to be up on top of that mountain, you also can get a little closer to where you can hear the message of what's being told to you, what's being trying to be given to you. Because when you're down in the midst of all the storm, it's too much commotion where you can't see or you can't hear what's going on, and you're not focused. So instead of asking to move the mountain, climb the mountain. Take some effort. Even if you got to get something to attach in and pick into the mountain and reach and climb, get a rope, get a way to pull yourself up, but get yourself to where you can get to the top of that mountain, and then you'll find your decision. Because what that's doing as well is separating you from something. It's separating you from either some trouble or situation. It's separating you so you can clear your mind and so you can think whenever you get on top of that mountain. Stop asking to move the mountain and instead work to climb the mountain. Today, the Network King Lee Williams here. Make it a great one.